Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical, this is Mystical Gaming, we're back into Watcher of Realms. Now a little while ago this dropped in the game and it says March Update Content Preview, and then at the bottom of it it tells us about our time limited fusion for a legendary champion. Now in the blurb it says during this period, which is about 2.5 weeks, we'll be able to earn Gogran, who can be fused into the epic hero Drayga, over in the Hero Fusion tab, and we'll have a look at that later. From there, Drayga can be fused into the brand new legendary North Throne hero Krodor. So that's what we're going to have a look at today, what we think the events will be and what we need to do to actually get ourselves ready for it. So when we go over and have a look at the fusion and the fusion tab and that sort of thing, we can get a rough idea of what we need and what the events are going to be like. So firstly, let's go and have a look at the heroes we'll be getting. So this is Gogran. Now he's a 3-star fighter. He has a basic attack, deals damage to one enemy with a 10% chance to stun the target for 1 second. Fine. And then he's got an ultimate which increases attack speed of 3 random surrounding allies by 40 for 10 seconds, which is an interesting ultimate. I just wonder if this is going to be in the game with other champions later on, because it could be useful. And then he's got a passive for once his AP drops below 35%, increases his attack and defense by 20%. This effect lasts for 10 seconds and can be triggered once per deployment, which is fine, but we're probably never going to use him, are we? We're going to use him solely for this fusion. We're going to use him to star up, and then we're going to use him to get Drayga. So here she is. So this is Drayga. Now, unlike Gogran, she is a defender, not a fighter, which is important, and we'll come on to that later. So a quick run over her skills should you want to use her. She deals 100% damage to one enemy for a basic attack. Then her ultimate, upon activation, max HP plus 15% and defense up by 15% as well. And then she's got an auto deterrence, attacks up to 3 enemies ahead, dealing 150% damage and inflicting damage reduction. So the damage reduction is good, and it is a 20% damage reduction, and it lasts for 4 seconds. Now our auto is on an 8-second cooldown. However, if you awaken her, the first awakening is the duration of the damage reduction, infliction, deterrence will be increased by 4 seconds. So if you are going to keep her and use her permanently, then you probably want to get her at least A1 done, because this damage reduction will be on as a permanent fix then. So you might want to consider that if you're going to use her. But ideally what we're going to use her for is to fuse her up and get our legendary hero. So let's go and have a look at him now then. So this is our time limited legendary fusion, Krodor. He's a defender northerner. Talent, damage scales off defense. Increases defense by 20% for 20 seconds each time taking damage. So every time he takes damage, by the sounds of it, he increases defense by 2% for 20 seconds, capping at 20% defense. Alright then. So his basic attack deals 100% damage to one enemy. His ultimate increases block by 2, so his block is at 3, it will go up to 5. I should imagine if you put the artifact on him, that adds another block to it, you can get up to 6. And it also increases his defense by 70%. This effect lasts for 15 seconds. And then he's got a passive, Braveheart. Once HP drops below 30%, immediately enters a state of anger, bellows at up to 10 enemies ahead and inflicts attack reduction. Now I think this is really good, because it drops their attack should he be taking too much damage, which is ideal as a defender. What you want to do is stop the attack building up so you can get some heals in. So I think this is a good little move, this nice little passive. The next 5 basic attacks change into striking at most 10 enemies ahead, dealing 150% AoE damage and inflicting stun. So again, you're slowing that damage down. I think that's going to be really handy. The ultimate is not available during this stage, so he can't trigger his ultimate at the same time. This effect can only be triggered once per deployment, so it's not on a cycle, it is a one-off, just so you're aware of that. Now he's also got another passive, Unity Strength. Based on the number of adjacent allies, increases physical damage reduction and damage dealt. The effect reaches a maximum of 12% when there are 3 allies in range. If you want to awaken him, or if you get to, is Awakening 1 is when gained shield strength increases by 20%. A2 defense plus 200. Awaken 3, during the state of anger, increases attack, restores an additional rage of 50. Okay, right. Awaken 4, all damage reductions plus 80%. And then is Awaken 5, enhanced. The state of anger has a 60-second cooldown. So just to be aware, I do not know if this is how it's going to happen or work. I'm just basing it off the fusion tab. So when I look at other fusions, when you want to make an epic, you use 4 rares or lower, but in this case they sound like they're going to be rares, the fighter, Gogran, and you make them up to level 40, 4-star promotion, and then you can fuse the rare, then you can fuse the epic. And the same goes ahead with the epics to a legendary. You'd get the 4 epics, make them up to 50 5-star promoted, and then you can fuse a legendary. So with that in mind, if that's going to be the same thing, then we want to make sure that firstly that we've got enough to actually be able to do this, because it is going to take up a lot of resources. Now if we know this event is coming, then we can prep beforehand, which is what I'll be doing over the next couple of days, just to get myself a head start, so when the event drops I can do the events and not worry about anything else. Now I don't know if the events are going to be dropping just 16 rares, which is a minimum of what we would require to do this, or whether there's going to be chances to get the epic as well. Now if you do get a copy of the epic, if you summon this weekend or you're about to summon and you pull her, keep her, don't get rid of her, don't dismiss her, because she may come in useful. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't awaken her either. I'd keep hold of her just until the event on Thursday, so we can actually have a proper look and we know what's actually happening. Now I don't know what the events hold, I don't know what's in store for us, I have no insider knowledge. However, if we have to get 16 in total 3-star champions to 4-star promoted, then we're going to need insignias. Now to get all 16 done, we're going to have to be here a lot, and the maths quite quickly mounts up to get us 16 of them. So to get 16 3-star heroes, we will need a total of 352 epic insignias, and we'll need a total of 240 legendary insignias. So bear that in mind, and you might want to farm some up in the meantime. You might not want to, it's entirely up to you, it is your account and I have no knowledge of what's happening. Now to get the 4 versions of Drayga up to 5-star and fully promoted, you need a lot less on the basis there's only 4 of them. So even though they are promoted up higher, you don't quite need as many defensive insignias as you do for the fighter ones, which makes our job somewhat easier to get these insignias. Now doing the maths up again, to get 4 versions of the 4-star fully up to 5-star, you only need 160 epic insignias, and for the legendary version of that to actually bump her up into the 5-star bracket, you only need 128, so it is considerably less. However, it's no small matter to get this many, so if you can do a bit of farming in the meantime, it might be worth it. Or if you see them up in the shop and you're not someone who normally buys them, you might want to consider actually shelling out a bit of gold and getting a few of these in your back pocket to make your life a little bit easier. Now of course we're gonna need experience as well, but how much? So 1 3-star champion up to level 30, 42,000 experience. 1 3-star from 30 to 40, 85,000 experience, and that gives us a total of 127,000 experience per champion. I'm going to need 16 of them. That jumps us straight up to just over 2 million experience points. A 4-star champion is for 127,000. 4-star from 40 to 50 is another 143,000. So for a total of 270,000 per champion, and we've got 4 of them to do. So that brings us up to another 1 million experience. So in total, just for experience, we're going to need a little over 3 million experience just to level up these champions. So again, if you're going to do it, make sure you get your XP bonus from the shop. And if you're farming stage 8, it's 74% of stage 8, makes you better off than stage 7. So just a quick thing to note, Drayga is in game now. So if you've pulled her, keep her. And also I wouldn't ascend her, I would keep as many copies as possible. Now, depends how much you want to do in game now and how much prep work you want to do. I don't know the events, I don't know if that's the way it's going to roll. I know nothing about it, I've just seen the notice in game and I've gone to the Fusion tab and this is roughly what I'm expecting. If it's easier than this, absolutely fine, not an issue. If it's harder than this, I don't know. If they're offering events where we can get the legendary straight up, it makes your life a lot easier. Or whether they're going to offer these on a 10 times in a banner, I have no idea of what they're offering in game over the next 2.5 weeks from Thursday onwards. But a little bit of prep could make your life a lot easier. So I will be doing a little bit of prep and I will probably try and hit those numbers just to make my life a lot easier. It is your account, so up to you what you do, but I think it's going to be useful for me to do a little bit of prep and just save myself a bit of work in the next 2.5 weeks. If you've got this far in the video, thank you very much for your time. Please give me a thumbs up, a like and subscribe. That would help me out massively, and I'll see you on the video again soon. Cheers and thanks for your time. Goodbye.